Hi everyone, Amanda Kendall here to talk to you about Facebook groups and how we can have a whole lot of fun with using them. You might know me from usually speaking in person at City of Joondalup library events, but during these times we are doing things a bit differently. So this is my presentation for you on having fun with Facebook groups. In this talk we're going to cover these topics. So first of all, how do Facebook groups work? How to find a good Facebook group, special features of Facebook groups. I'm going to give you some examples of some really fun or interesting or effective Facebook groups that I know. And I'm even going to talk about how to start your own Facebook group. I have run dozens of Facebook groups over the years, I guess, through my work with my clients, through my podcast. And you can see there on the right, that's my Facebook group for Thoughtful Travellers, which I run for my podcast. So having run a group with nearly 1,000 members, I've had lots of fun and games with it, and it's one of my favourite places on the internet. So I hope I can help you find some Facebook groups that you'll feel the same way about. So first of all, how do Facebook groups work? So they are a part of Facebook, and a group is something you can join, and it will either be public or private or hidden. So if it's public, it means that when you find it on Facebook, you can actually see all of the posts and activity inside the group. If it's private, then you can just see some basic information about it. And if it's hidden, you won't be able to find it at all unless someone invites you or you have a specific link that someone has sent to you. So that means they have lots of different uses. Now, a group admin, someone who runs the group, can set rules in the group. That's a special feature that you can see usually pretty readily. And of course, it's important to abide by the rules. That means, for example, you might not be able to post anything that's promotional if you, say, run a business. So lots of rules are pretty straightforward and make sure that a group runs in a really friendly and useful way. Generally, you need to request to join the group. There'll be a button once you find it and be approved by the admin. To do that, you might need to answer some questions. So the admins of a Facebook group can set up a series of questions. Usually these are to check that you're a genuine person who's the right fit for the group and not someone who's going to come in and cause trouble. Now, Facebook groups are a bit different to a personal profile or to a business page. So, of course, with a personal profile, that's when you can become friends with someone and both people have to agree. A business page is where you can like the page and then you'll see information from them. And a Facebook group lies somewhere in between that. So basically, a Facebook group means usually you have to be accepted in to join it, but they're generally more open than a personal profile. Now, once you're inside a Facebook group, they can work differently. For example, sometimes only the admins of the Facebook group can make posts in there and you can just interact, comment or engage with those posts. Sometimes anyone can post at all whenever you like. And sometimes there's a middle ground, and that means that you might want to post something in the group, but it needs to be approved by an admin first. That's the way it works in my group. So you can see a link on the left that's been posted by a group member named Celeste. And I received, as an admin, a notification that Celeste had tried to post in the group, and I could see what she posted, and therefore I could approve or not approve it. In this case, of course, I approved it. And so then the other group members got involved. But anyone can start a Facebook group, anyone who has already a Facebook profile, personal profile, and I'll show you in the very last slide how to do that. And of course, you have the right to leave a group at any time. You can also adjust how often Facebook gives you notifications about it. So Facebook groups often will have notifications and you can see, your friend has made a post in this group or so on. But you can adjust that within the group settings. If you just go into the group each time, into the main group, and you can adjust the settings of how often you get notified about it. So let's say you are looking for a Facebook group to join. How do you do it? So if you search in the Facebook search bar, so this will work either on a mobile version of Facebook or on a desktop at your computer, just search in the toolbar, that searching toolbar. Now, what will come up might be not all groups. If you, for example, I'm posting about searching for the Buy Nothing group there in the example on the right. When I just put Buy Nothing, lots of information came up. So then you need to search by groups only. So you can see where I've circled in green. If you just tap on or click on the groups thing, then Facebook will show only groups with that name. So you can search for a specific group name if you know it already, if a friend has said, oh, you should join this. Or if you're just looking for a group on a particular topic, say gardening, then just type in gardening and Facebook will show you a long list of groups about gardening. The good thing is Facebook's pretty clever and tries to suggest ones that are relevant to you. So if you're like me in Perth and you typed in gardening and went to groups, you'd probably be shown some WA or Perth-based gardening groups before you were shown other ones. So it's pretty handy like that and makes it much easier to find a group that you might like to join. There are a few extra special features of Facebook groups that don't happen in other parts of Facebook. So your admins of a group can have special posts saved like at the top of a group called announcements. That's where they put all the really important information so that their group members can find it easily. Groups can even have learning units, so you might come across a group like that where they're teaching you things, and you can see the learning units in the group, like Unit 1, some topic, Unit 2, another topic, which can be great. Group owners can run Facebook Live events inside a group, and that's the example I've got on the left there. I run a book club chat every month in my Travellers group, and that's a online Facebook Live event that happens inside the group. And groups can even host watch parties to watch videos together. So if you're showing a particular video, you can start it as a watch party, and that means other group members will be notified and you can watch it together and make comments on it together. So there are heaps of really interesting Facebook groups out there. I wanted to give a few examples that might be interesting. So some of the kind of local community kind of groups that I'm a member of and really enjoy. The Buy Nothing groups are fabulous. If you haven't come across Buy Nothing groups, they're very small geographic areas. For example, I'm in Duncraig and there are 3 or now 4, I'm not sure, at least 3 Duncraig Buy Nothing groups, but for specific parts like northeast or northwest and so on. So they have a specific area. And Buy Nothing is when you want to kind of trade something with your neighbours, have something to give away. You can see the example post on the right there, a desk that needs a new home, a free shed if you'll remove it, and you can also post for things you need. Does anyone have any XYZ? I've had lots of fun with my Buy Nothing group over the years, and I highly recommend them. They run really well. There's also similar groups like Pay It Forward groups. In my area, there's also a Neighbourhood Watch group, which is kind of interesting to keep in touch with people in your area and just kind of know some local things that are going on. Now, there's also lots and lots of special interest groups. So whatever your hobby or special interest is, there will be multiple groups that you can try out, and you're bound to find one that suits you. So, for example, for Travellers, my group, I particularly like that. Of course I do. A WA Gardeners group I'm in is particularly good, and it's nice to have, more localised information. Crochet in Australia, that's one of my hidden passions, and there's always really interesting posts in there. So whatever it is, you can find it. There's also really interesting global groups. So during this pandemic time, you may have already come across or been invited to the group that's called View from My Window. I've been really impressed with it. It's a really well-run Facebook group where the admins approve posts in a really sensible way. So it's lots of variety, and it is as simple as it sounds. It's basically, while people have been in lockdown or isolation, it's the view from their window. But every day there'll be posts from all different places around the world with interesting captions and just really, really well done. So I've enjoyed that group. And there's groups that are purely for fun. I have 2 cats here, and I have sometimes dipped into the Funny Cats group. They have 1,000 posts a day. So if you ever need cheering up, go into that group. So let's say you want to start your own Facebook group. There's lots of reasons you might want to do that. It might be for a community group you work with. It might be for a group of friends and you particularly want, to have a connection like this. Might be, for a business you run, or lots and lots of different reasons. It's easy to do. So you just go to create in the app. It's just under the groups part, or on the desktop version of Facebook, it's just in the top right. You can see create, and that's where you can create anything like a page or a group. So you go to create group. It asks you some basic things like putting in a cover photo and so on. It'll ask you to decide on some rules, and it has some kind of default rules if you want to use or adapt them. It asks you if you want to set questions to screen your potential members, which I think generally is a good idea. They don't have to be, difficult questions, but for example, if you're the Gardening WA group might have a question like, whereabouts do you live, so they can kind of ascertain that you are in WA. Just to make sure, if people are really just trying to be kind of spammy, come and, dump annoying information in a group, then they probably won't take the time to answer any questions. So it's one good way to weed out people before they cause any problems. And once you've set up your group, you can invite people easily. You can invite your friends. You'll have a link for the group, and you can promote your group anywhere you want. And of course, Facebook will always suggest groups to people who it thinks might be interested, or it'll come up in a search result. So that's how you can start up your own group. They can be a lot of fun and really rewarding to run. So go and have fun with Facebook groups. Just a few reminder tips. Make sure you answer any questions when you request to join. If you don't answer the questions, then mostly the admin won't let you in and you'll forget. Check and follow the group rules. You don't want to be banned from a group for breaking the rules. And of course, if you don't enjoy a group, you can just leave it as well. So I hope that this has given you some ideas and inspiration to go out and enjoy Facebook groups, because I've had lots of fun with them over the years, and I'm sure you can too.